Hello everybody, and welcome to this special video where I'm going to take you through this book that I actually got for my birthday this year. It's called Slash Dreams, The Ultimate Guide to Slasher Films. So what I'm going to do, I actually got it signed by the guy who wrote it. There's special, that's for the Prowler. There's some cool shit in here. So, we're going to start with, this is the top 50, from his opinion, of the top 50 horror films. In his opinion, at number 50, you have the Texas Chainsaw Massacre from 2003. You have at 49, you got Visiting Hours. At 48, you got Peeping Tom, which is a really good horror film that came out the same time as Psycho, about somebody killing somebody using a camera tripod, flips it over so they can see themselves dying. 47, you got Happy Birthday to Me, which is a great movie. And then you have Tourist Trap, which is another good one. Halloween 4, which is arguably one of the top 3 Halloween movies. House on Sorority Row, which I haven't seen. Rituals I haven't seen, or Superstition. Number 41, Final Destination. I actually like the original Final Destination and not many of the other ones. There's To Torture a Duckling, Hell Night, The Town That Dreaded Sundown. Watch the original, don't watch the remake that's on Netflix. The Funhouse is a good one, even though the poster completely fucking... On the poster there's a clown, there's no clown in the fucking movie. Curtains, Child's Play, which is an amazing classic. That one's actually scary. Alone in the Dark. Maniac Cop with Bruce Campbell is in that one. Psycho 2, which is really good. Maniac Cop 2. Prison. Prison's a really weird movie. I've seen it before, but it's really weird. The Burning is a completely underrated horror film that a lot of people just don't talk about. I love it. Stage Fright, Deep Red, Bay of Blood. High Tension is a movie that a lot of people hate, but I like it, even though it's a chopped up version of the original film that it is. Friday the 13th Part 2, which is one of the really good Jason films. Just Before Dawn, Blood and Black Lace, The Prowler. My Bloody Valentine is really, really good. I like the remake, but I like the original one too. The Hitcher, Sleepaway Camp, which has one of the best endings to a horror film. Alice, Sweet Alice. Behind the Mask. Okay, Behind the Mask is a movie I've wanted to talk about for a long time. It's from the perspective of the person doing the killing. Like, he buries himself so he can, regenerate faster. It shows him doing cardio so he can run faster, sabotaging the house that they're in. Behind the Mask, Rise of Leslie Vernon, which is actually being re-released, I think, in September on a Blu-ray, and they're still working on a sequel to it, I believe. And if they're over, it's Terror Train. That's a Jamie Lee Curtis movie. Friday the 13th, the final chapter, is very well done. Written, produced, directed, everything. When a Stranger Calls, it's the original, yeah. Candyman, I love Candyman. Tony Todd is a really good actor. Plays the part really fucking well, and everybody should go watch that movie. Nightmare on Elm Street, of course, it's Nightmare on Elm Street. Dark Night of the Scarecrow, another one. Silent Night, Deadly Night. It's the one with the killer Santa Claus. Only watch the first one, all the other ones just kind of meh. Halloween 2. Halloween 2 is almost better than the first one. It's the one that takes place in the hospital. Really good effects in there. I like the scene where Michael gets shot in the eyes and the blood just comes down, like 2 streams. Very good. Suspiria, Dario Argento. It's part of the Mother series. I recently watched the final one in the Mother series and it was pretty bad. But Suspiria is like, if Walt Disney made a horror film, that's the best I've ever heard about that one. Texas Chainsaw Massacre is one of the greatest horror films of all time. scariest movie of all time. Before I ever watched it, I heard about Texas Chainsaw and it gave me nightmares. And then it gave me nightmares again when I actually resaw it. Friday the 13th is really good. Psycho at number 3. Without Psycho, you wouldn't have the whole slasher genre. What's really weird here is 2 and 1, you would think they'd be reversed, but you have Halloween as number 2, and Halloween is considered the most profitable indie horror film of all time, one of the most classic horror films of all time, great score, story, everything. Black Christmas is number 1. Black Christmas actually came out before Halloween, and it is a good film. So let's, alright. So what we're going to do now is, I'm only going to do a couple things in here. So right now I want to go to the top 20 celebrities in horror films. So number 1, we have Kevin Bacon in Friday the 13th, classic arrow through the throat. Johnny Depp in Nightmare on Elm Street. Who can forget that scene where he gets stuck in the bed and all the blood comes up? It's fucking awesome. Bill Paxton in Mortuary. You have Tom Hanks in He Knows You're Alone, way before he did Perfect Strangers or anything else that got him famous. George Clooney in Return to Horror High. Or don't forget, George Clooney was also in Return of the Killer Tomatoes. Brad Pitt in Cutting Class. Viggo Mortensen was in Prison, and he was in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, which I actually like Texas Chainsaw 3. A lot of people don't. Number 8, Sharon Stone in Deadly Blessing. Number 9, Jason Alexander and Holly Hunter were both in The Burning. Jason Alexander is kind of a prick in that movie. Brooke Shields was in Alice, Sweet Alice. Elizabeth Shue was in Link. You have Mickey Rourke in Fade to Black, which is in 1980. Paul Rudd of Ant-Man fame now was actually in Halloween the Curse of Michael Myers. You have Christopher Lloyd in Schizoid. You have Joe Pantalone and Daryl Hannah in The Final Terror in 1983. You have Corey Feldman and Crispin Glover in Friday the 13th, The Final Chapter. You have Josh Hartnett and Joseph Gordon-Levitt both in Halloween H2O. Margaret Kidder of Superman fame was in Black Christmas in 1974. Matthew McConaughey and Renee Zellweger were in Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I believe that one was called The Next Generation in 95. The American Pie crew was in Jack Frost and Final Destination. So the last one I'm going to go over is, because you should really get this book if you're really into slasher films, as a full list. But these are the top 11 goriest slasher films of all time. Number 1, High Tension. Number 2 is Intruder from 1989. Number 3 is The Prowler. There's actually a scene in The Prowler where he takes a chainsaw to somebody while they're in the shower, and it just completely cuts through a midsection. Anthropophagus from 1980. It's an Italian film. Number 5 is Inside, which is a really fucking weird movie. I don't want to say too much about that. I'll do a review. I own the movie, so... Number 6 is Absurd. Number 7 is Unmasked, Part 25. That came out in 1989. Number 8, the Hatchet series. Hatchet series is awesome if you love old school horror films. Number 9, Evil Dead Trap, which is not to be confused with Evil Dead. Number 10 is Laid to Rest, which is a really good film series. I like the second one more than the first one. And number 11 is Friday the 13th, The Final Chapter. So there's a lot of cool stuff in this book. I'm probably going to do a second part to this so I can really talk about more that's in here, because the next part freaking sounds really cool to talk about. So this slasher book is amazing. It is written by Ronnie Angel. It's Slash Dreams, the ultimate guide to slasher films, and you should really check it out. I'll do a secondary video where I go over more of the lists that are in here. So I just wanted to throw this out. It's a really good book, and I really think you guys should all read it. And this is Chucky signing off, and I will see you all in your dreams.